You ever open a spreadsheet, stare at it, and feel absolutely nothing? Like it's just numbers, rows, columns, the emotional energy of a brick wall. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Your spreadsheet is not dead. It's just misunderstood. Because buried inside those cells, not just data, not just history, signals, patterns, warnings, whispers of the future. While most traders are refreshing Twitter like it's a life support machine, there's a hidden layer of reality already forming, quietly, patiently. I call them ghost variables, and once you see them, you stop reacting to markets and start anticipating them. Part 1. The Ghost in the Rose. Let's talk about why most people are getting cooked in modern markets. Traditional technical analysis. Yeah, the classic draw a line, pray it holds strategy. That worked when markets moved like a bicycle. Now, they move like a Formula One car driven by caffeine-fueled algorithms. By the time your indicator flashes BY, the smart money already bought, sold, and went on vacation. So what changed? Speed, complexity, interconnection. Markets today aren't just reacting to price. They're reacting to flows, capital movement across countries, supply chain shifts, sentiment changes before headlines, institutional positioning before retail even knows something happened. And this is where ghost variables come in. These are not obvious indicators, they're subtle. They're things like a sudden increase in correlation between unrelated sectors, slight delays in liquidity response volume patterns that don't match price movement. Basically, tiny behavioral fingerprints left behind before the market makes a big move. Think of it like footprints in wet cement. The price hasn't moved yet, but something already walked through. Part 2. Decoding the hidden architecture. Now let's level up. A normal spreadsheet is like a notebook. It had numbers, it sits there, quiet, judging you. But a sentient spreadsheet? That's a different beast. It doesn't just store data, it hunts patterns. The transformation happens when you stop thinking what happened and start asking what is forming. This is where recursive logic enters. Instead of simple formulas like equals SL, SUM, A1, A10, you start building formulas that compare current data to shifting baselines, track rate of change across multiple layers, feed outputs back into new calculations. In simple terms, your spreadsheet starts thinking in loops, not lines. Now, during the recent Q1 volatility, 3 invisible signatures showed up before the chaos. 1. Diverging liquidity signals. Money was quietly moving out of certain sectors, but prices weren't dropping yet. That's like people leaving a party, but the music is still loud. You don't notice at first, but the vibe is already dying. 2. Cross-market desynchronization. Assets that usually move together stopped agreeing. Oil said one thing, tech said another. Bonds were confused. That's not randomness. That's structural tension building up. 3. Latency in reaction. Markets started reacting slower to major inputs, which sounds small, but it's huge, because when response time changes, it means the system is overloaded or recalibrating. And that's when big moves happen. Part 3. The sentient predictive engine. Now here's where things get spicy. You take your spreadsheet and plug it into something like Python. Now instead of manually checking patterns, you build a system that pulls real-time data, scans for anomalies, flags unusual behavior automatically. Basically, your spreadsheet goes from I store stuff to I watch everything. This is what I call data metabolism. How fast can your system absorb information, process it, react to it? Because in modern markets, speed isn't just an advantage, it's survival. And here's the wild part. Some of these custom engines flagged the recent pivot in emerging tech 72 hours before the news cycle caught up. 72. That's 3 days of being early in a world where people celebrate being 3 minutes early. Imagine knowing something feels off before the headlines even exist. Part 4. Navigating the wealth pivot. Now let's talk about where money is actually going. Because markets don't just move randomly, they migrate, like birds. but with spreadsheets and billion-dollar portfolios. Right now, Ghost data suggests capital is rotating toward adaptive tech sectors. Traditional safe havens are losing silent confidence. Emerging systems tied to automation and AI are absorbing liquidity quietly. But here's the difference. The crowd reacts to news. Your system reacts to structure. The crowd sees breaking news, market shift. Your spreadsheet already whispered, "Yeah, I saw that coming." But let's be real. Not every signal is legit. Sometimes the market fakes you out like a magician with commitment issues. So you need validation. Cross-check signals across multiple datasets. Look for consistency, not just spikes. Avoid emotional decisions based on one anomaly, because one weird data point, that's noise. A pattern across systems, that's intelligence. Part 5. Mastering the living formula. At this point, your spreadsheet isn't just a tool, it's a living system. And your job is not to control it, it's to understand it. Because the real edge isn't just data, it's the combination of machine precision, human intuition. Your spreadsheet might detect the pattern, but you give it meaning. You interpret the story between the numbers. Because behind every data set, there's behavior. Behind behavior, there's intention. And behind intention, there's opportunity. Final. Talk. So, next time you open a spreadsheet, don't just see numbers, see conversations, see tension, see movement before movement. Because the future of markets, it's not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It shows up quietly, in a cell, in a formula, in a pattern most people scroll past. And the people who win aren't the fastest. They're the ones who learned how to listen to the silence inside the data.